My great-grandfather, William McVittie, began life as a prospector. In 1886, he discovered a huge vein of nickel near Sudbury, then went on to develop the first hydropower stations in northern Ontario. He had a large family. Two of the sons were very close, Stan and Edison. Ed was named after my great-grandfather's friend and business partner, Tom Edison. Stan and Ed both studied engineering at Queen's. They were tall, strapping young men. They played football and hockey, trained as cadets, and after graduation went to work for their father, developing hydroelectric plants in the north. War was declared in the summer of 1914, but Stan and Ed's work with power generating stations was deemed an essential service. In 1916, Ed enlisted in the Royal Flying Corps. Stan, 2 years older, had married his sweetheart, the lovely Margaret MacDonald, in 1915. Their daughter Maggie was born 18 months later. Ed flew combat missions until the summer of 1917. After a year on the front line, he was suffering from PTSD, but his superiors refused to remove him from combat duty, and so, in frustration, he resigned his commission and returned to Canada in 1918. In November of that year, the armistice was signed and the war was finally over. The future looked bright for these two young men, and their work outdoors kept them healthy and fit. But a new enemy appeared. An aggressive form of the flu had begun to spread across the country. At a victory parade in Calgary, hundreds of citizens wore improvised masks to protect against infection. Margaret developed respiratory problems, and she and little Maggie went to live with her parents in St. Mary's for the winter. Stan continued his work up north, but missed them both terribly. On January 31st, 1920, he wrote, "First, Margaret dear, I must tell you not to hold this letter close to your face when reading it, for I have a touch of grip. It just showed up after dinner today. I think I had better stop now and get myself to bed. I want to have a good night of it as I feel rough. So good night, dear girl, and don't forget that I love you more than I can express here." On February 2nd, he added, "My grip has not improved as it should, so Dad was on the phone today and wants me to go up to Sudbury. Don't worry. Love, from Stan." 9 days later, he died of the Spanish flu. It happened so quickly that Margaret was unable to be with him at the end. She never regained her health and died not long afterwards. This is a story from my family. What would Maggie's life have been like if she had survived? And Stan's?